Yeah, I just want to tell everyone the food's ready.
That's another thing. Do not cup the microphone. You're not a rapper.
A lot of them cup the microphone.
Oh, you're not a rapper, right? And it peaks the actual system too, and we have to turn it down.
We're gonna probably post-edit this. That was too loud. Okay, the levels just shut right up.
It's too much, man. So yeah, please don't cup the microphone as well.
Use the microphone appropriately. All right.
This is the handle. This is not the handle. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna get feedback if you cup the top part.
Yeah,
it's gonna start. You're gonna get feedback because the sound just.
Exactly.
Anyway. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of The Clever DJ. First, a quick intro about ourselves, just so you know who we are. If you're just tuning in for the first time, whether it's on YouTube or any of the other platforms. My name is Ilya, and I am a DJ. I'm a beginner DJ. I've been DJing for about 2 years now, and I've done a variety of events. And at one of the events where I was bartending before I became a DJ, I met this guy beside me, he took me on as his apprentice, and ever since then we've been DJing together or different events, and that's when the journey started.
Yep. So my name is Nino. I'm a professional DJ, and I've been DJing for 20 plus years. Started off with bars and clubs. Now I do mostly private events, especially weddings. I have a roster of 15 DJs under my belt. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, and this is a banter podcast about DJing. So every episode is weekly, and we speak about just things that happen to us, things that happen to other DJs,
and anything DJ related under the sun. Right?
Yeah, just like two guys hanging out talking about DJing.
Yeah.
So, some other podcasts and live shows you'll see out there are a lot more technical or more like schools and stuff like that. And we're going in that direction at some point too. But for now, we're just enjoying chatting and
we're just
discussing.
Chilling.
Yeah, just chilling.
Drinking our tea.
We're really into tea.
Yeah, we love our tea. Tea and pho.
Pho, yeah. Yes, that's another thing we really love. You know what? One of those days we need to get a tea and a pho sponsor. I don't see who's gonna sponsor DJs when it comes to pho and tea.
I know. It's weird.
It's more like like club stuff, like more like alcohol
and all that other stuff. Yeah. But it's okay.
Yeah,
we'll make it work.
Oh my God! Wait, this is not straight.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm joking. Okay, so Nino, you take it away. What are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about wedding DJing and how tricky it can be, and just some of the worst mistakes you can make as wedding DJs. So.
Yes, and if you think that, I started DJing because I want to be a wedding DJ. In 3 to 6 months, max a year, I'm going to be a wedding DJ.
That's exactly what this guy said.
Because I was ambitious. Like, you know what, 3 to 6 months, max a year, depending on my schedule. I'm here side by side with you. I still don't really do weddings. I done a couple gigs like weddings, very, very like serious production. And, I did it by myself, at least one of them. One of them, you came with me and supported me. I'm ready for weddings now. But so far, I've done them with another DJ.
Yeah.
Right. So this is because it's not that simple. There's an itinerary.
There's a lot of moving parts.
So many
things going on with weddings, right? It's not just playing music. You're there coordinating sometimes. You're talking on the microphone. You're playing the music. You're curating the actual the atmosphere, the day, the soundtrack of the day.
Yeah, you're the puppeteer. You're the master of that night. And the DJ doesn't usually get that credit until the end of the night when the bride and groom and whoever else noticed, wow, you made this night happen.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes that's the case. They don't have a coordinator or everything is messed up. And then, for example, Nino comes in and rescues the night. So
I've done that so many times.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But we're going to start with number one. What do we have there, buddy?
Number one is not preparing adequately.
Yeah, so just this applies to just DJs not preparing like their playlists and just making sure that everything is accessible right away, and making sure that you have the vision of what the actual client wants their wedding day to be to sound like, right? Because there's some songs, some genres that clients do not want, so you want to make sure not to play those, right? So yeah, it's very important that you play what the kind of music that they want.
Yeah, they have a certain vision for the wedding. My sister just got married just a couple months ago, and they met with the DJ several times. They spoke to him several times, and they explained, okay, so that's what's going to happen in this part of the night. Okay, this is what we see for this. That's our vision for that. So there's a lot of stuff. There's the songs that did not play, and then the ones that must be played.
Yes.
There's how they want certain parts to go on. Like, okay, so on the father-daughter dance and mother-son dance, we also want to switch, and you have to know all those things. There's different details, and if you don't remember that, because you're focusing on your transitions,
yeah, you
make it tough.
You got to remember all the finer details that every couple wants. That's just trying to prepare accordingly.
Go over the itinerary, the notes.
Yeah, right. And that's why the client meets with you in person sometimes to talk everything over, especially if they want a lot of things, like a lot of surprises and a lot of like live mixing and stuff. If they want to do like a mashup mix of like the father-daughter dance, well, I have that in a couple of weeks. I'm actually making that mix, pre-making it so they can dance, make a dance to it, right? So sometimes, yeah,
I
you
was
need to
just
do
gonna
stuff
say
like that.
I was just gonna say one time when we were driving, was it? Well, yeah, I think it was when we ran out of gas almost.
Oh gosh,
Didn't you say that like while we're driving, you already prepared? While we're driving, okay, so we want the song this way. Actually, like we want it to start here, and then we'll come in, and then
yes.
And you're like, that's not even possible. How do I tell her that, right? And then you made it possible. You found her an alternative, right? But like, even if you're fully adequately prepared, they're still gonna throw something your way.
You got to be flexible with what they want, right? Because you never know what's coming up on the actual day of, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Number 2, ignoring the crowd.
And don't engage and watch them and making sure that they like the music that you're playing. Usually this falls on a lot of bedroom DJs. A lot of bedroom DJs will be like, because they don't look up at the crowd. They're used to just playing for themselves, right? So make sure that you actually look up, right? Instead of just staying like looking down at your laptop or your controller like you're used to in your bedroom.
Yeah,
right.
like even Twitch streamers, like I've seen some who are actually responsive to the comments and stuff.
And those are the ones that are very popular, right?
Yeah.
They get a lot of followers because they actually engage with them. They look at the camera and they talk to you.
Literally, like they're alone in the room and they're still engaging.
Yes.
So can you imagine what they're like when they have a crowd in front of them?
Even more, right?
So being alone in your bedroom does not mean you're not engaging with whoever you play music for, because otherwise you're just playing for yourself.
Exactly.
And some people might like that because they have the same vibe, but what are the odds you'll find 3,000 people who like that on that day, right?
Exactly. So, now, if you're just gonna do that and play for yourself, then just be a bedroom DJ, not even take it up to the level.
Fun. Make it a
do
hobby.
it for fun. That's fine.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Number 3, playing inappropriate songs.
Like, I've talked to you about this, right? Clients that ask, please make sure you play the explicit version. So I'm like, what? Especially because there's kids, there's your grandma, grandpa out in the crowd.
Grandma Edna's not gonna appreciate that.
No, it irks us, right? Because we look so unprofessional, right? Now it's different. Maybe if you play it at the end of the night when the kids are gone, grandma and grandpa are gone already, then you can turn up, right? And just play the explicit versions. And we love playing them because we love playing the real versions, like the club songs, right?
Yeah, it really, really hits my ears just really badly when I hear the censored version.
Yeah,
it's just like I'm like, that's just, you don't even want to play that song.
a lot of the times
That's how I feel.
A lot of the times the crowd will sing the obscenities anyway, right? So it's like, yeah, you might as well play. But you know, to stay professional, you have to keep it clean, right? Inappropriateness is so awkward for us DJs.
Another awkward thing. Number 4, overusing the microphone.
You know, it's not about you. It's about the couple, right? So don't make it about you. Don't talk on the microphone too much. If you're gonna MC the wedding, make sure that you get to the point, straight to the point. Talk slowly, concisely, and just make sure that everybody knows like what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Also, not over the song every time. Some DJs over the best parts of the song or singing with a song. Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, if you were a good singer, okay, sure. Like,
even then, come on, man. Not to every song.
Like,
right?
like I'm here listening to Pitbull, not to you, right? Like, yeah, it's just I don't understand how some people are. It's just so lost on them because I don't get on the microphone enough because I realize like, hey, maybe they don't want to listen to that, and I'm still like in the beginning of my journey, you know.
There are some crowds that will respond to it, but in general, you just don't want to do it too much. Right?
I noticed that if you do want to do it, you got to be so confident and so like I'm going for it, because if you're not, they're gonna pick up on that energy. They're gonna kind of look at you like, "All right, buddy." That feels so awkward.
It's so awkward, man.
Or if you're like too confident and you're just like yelling into the mic like a
like a madman,
like a 13-year-old, just like, "Yeah, I just want to tell everyone the food's ready."
That's another thing. Do not cup the microphone. You're not a rapper.
A lot of them cup the microphone.
Oh, you're not a rapper, right? And it peaks the actual system too. And we have to turn it down.
We're gonna probably post-edit this. That was too loud. Okay, the levels just shot right up.
It's too much, man. So yeah, please don't cup the microphone as well.
Use the microphone appropriately. Mm-hmm. All right.
Mm-hmm. This is the handle. This is not the handle. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna get feedback if you cup the top part.
Yeah,
it's gonna start. You're gonna get feedback because the sound just.
Exactly.
Anyway, number 5, being unresponsive to requests. So that's kind of part of the crowd, ignoring the crowd, but that's very specific.
Yeah, you have to, especially if you're bombing, right? You have to make sure that you're taking the request, because that gives you an indication of what the crowd will actually like. Well, at least the person who requested it, right? But it might give you ideas. Like if they start dancing, it might give you, okay, they like this song, so I might as well play this and this and this. They'll like this, right? As a DJ, you have to have that knowledge, and I had a Christmas gig last year, and I wouldn't say I was bombing it, but it was definitely not going as well as it should. Yeah. Not even as well as I wanted to go, as well as it should go. Mm-hmm. 10 to 15% of people were dancing, kind of like almost forcing themselves. Mm-hmm. A couple of people really enjoyed it. Most people were like all over the place. I realized it wasn't really me. It was the place. It was probably just the environment. They weren't ready to dance.
But any good DJ will get them to want to dance.
Yeah.
It almost never happens that it just doesn't work, no matter what you do. Mm-hmm. If you're good, you know how to get them there. So I found a few things that I saw they liked, but it was painful. It was like, okay, like hit, miss.
But were they requesting stuff?
And then they started requesting. And I'm like, okay, I see why they like that.
Yes.
And then I brought in more of those songs. And then suddenly it just became an amazing night. And it was like an hour and a half of like 90% of the people on the dance floor.
Yeah.
It was fun. It got tipped nicely. It was just from like, oh man, I hope they're going to call me again, to, oh wow, they're tipping me and everyone's dancing and everyone's happy. So
sometimes it just takes that one request and then it'll spark the whole night, right?
Yeah, it's like an inside thing there. Like they all like that song, or it reminds them of something, right? You're not gonna know that.
So as especially beginners, if you're just learning how to read the crowd, take the requests, because sometimes they're gold. They'll get the crowd going.
Remember what I did on our first gig, my first gig away, like without you. Mm-hmm. It was at school. And I took a notebook, a request notebook.
Yeah.
Right. So for the kids, because I'm like, they're coming on there every like 2 minutes.
They will
right?
request
Even
and
less.
keep going, man. And then you won't be able to DJ anymore because you're so busy taking the requests.
And I loved it. I created like 3 playlists. From that. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so these kids from this age to this age love that.
There you go. Then that's how you build your playlist too,
And
right?
I built it.
for that age group.
Yeah.
Right?
And then it was, how young were they? From like 6 years old?
Probably 6 to like what, 12?
13, I
13?
think. Yeah.
13? Yeah.
So it was 6 to 8, then it was 8 to 10, I think, and then, or 11, and 11 to
They
13,
have
something like that.
The blocks of grades.
Well, something like that. I kind of overlapped a few of the ages, but I literally wrote it down in such a way that I'll know. And then every time I went back there, I played those songs.
There you go.
And researched upon those.
Yeah. That's the way. That's
All
nice.
thanks to the requests. I was brand new. I had no idea what to play. I don't listen to that music, right?
You know what? That's the thing for high school, like prom gigs. That's the way I get schooled in knowing the new music, because they request the stuff
older.
that like they'll request the stuff. I'm like, oh, I haven't heard of this. Maybe it's a banger, and then I listen to it. Oh yeah, it is a banger. So I just play it, and then they go crazy, right? So that's a way of just building your playlist as well, right? So it's great.
And you know what? There are those kids that I really respect, like over the top.
Yeah.
Which when they come to the DJ booth and they're like, "Hey, can you play that song?" and they're trying to describe it, and I'm like, "Is he talking about?" No, he's not. And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's the name." And then he shows me his phone. Like, no, that was like 20 years before you were born.
Yeah, right.
And I just respect them for loving the old school music, whether it's rap or it's like in electronic music, which is really my thing, electronic music. Yeah, like
It's
I'm
great.
I want to play it, but here's the thing: most of the kids there won't know it or won't vibe to it.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play it for myself. I don't care. One kid wants it. It's not just for me.
But you never know. Sometimes it's a thing. It's like a maybe a joke or something that everybody knows. An inside joke thing that all the kids would know, and then they'll actually go crazy and dance to it.
Yeah,
right?
like there was one time actually, something like something to do with one of the kids' fathers played a song, and then they all liked it.
Yeah.
And then they all spoke about it, and you know the dad is like in his 40s or something, right?
Yeah.
So now they're all listening to that song.
Yeah.
So I played it. I'm like, let's see. And then there was a group of kids, like 12 kids,
Yeah.
who probably all were in the same place when whatever something happened, and they all started jumping, and because of their energy, even though the other ones didn't really care for it, everyone just
yeah.
it's like the effect, right?
Yeah. I've had those moments as well too.
And if it bombs, then you get to listen to the song you like, and then you just like get to that request list.
Switch it up really
Switch
quick.
it up.
That's how, as DJs, we gotta do that. This is the way it is.
I put my phone away. 1 sec.
Okay. Well, number 6 is playing music too loud. Now this is something that
Number 6, playing music too loud.
because you got it. Yeah, so don't play music too loud, because you literally agitate like the guests, right? Especially if they're having conversations, it'll drive them away a lot of the times. You can clear the dance floor, especially clear the dance floor. You can drive people to go home early if you play it too
piss
loud.
off the event organizers.
Even the bride and groom, right? But sometimes you guys, you have to go out on the dance floor sometimes and hear your levels, right? And just hear how it sounds in their perspective, right? So just to make sure that it's not too loud. You know, those times when the highs are just too piercing and it just hurts.
Yeah,
right?
and some songs you just know, hey, that's a loud song. Or let's lower the level.
Just turn it down a little bit.
And you told me that back in the day, we spoke about it several times. One of the things that when you become more of an intermediate towards maybe even a professional DJ, one of the things you got to start learning is levels.
Levels, yes.
It's not just transition.
It's not just playing the music. It's making sure the levels match.
Yeah, each song matches the next song, and then also it matches the energy of the song and the night and people. you don't just read them for what they want to listen to, but how they want to listen to it, right?
It's important. Just imagine a song you're playing at this volume. You bring in the next song, and it's like right here. It doesn't matter if it's a banger or not. If they can't hear what's going on, you just lost the crowd. It's like,
lost that moment.
Instead of them just keeping the momentum, you just kind of like jarred them, and that's it. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna
exactly
chill, right? And then you turn it. Then you just decide to turn it up, and then by that time it's kind of like, it lost its effect.
It's not a podcast you're DJing.
Yeah,
like. Let's make this louder. Everything has to be just simultaneous.
Yes.
Number 7, poor timing.
Yeah, I've seen. Well, I haven't done this. Like I've seen social media DJs have done this in like really bad moments that they weren't prepared. I actually sent you something like that just yesterday, I think.
On Instagram, yeah?
Yeah. I sent you a DJ who was trying to find a song, and Lauryn Hill was right beside her singing Killing Me Softly, but the guy was like trying to find it or something so he can play it. But he didn't even end up finding it or playing it. He ended up playing another song, and Lauryn Hill felt sorry for him and said, "Give it up for the DJ," you know.
Oh my God!
I was like, I was so cringed about that, right? But
I saw you send me something on Instagram. I was on vacation, so I did not open it.
But that's what it was.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's gotta hurt. That's like a moment where you're like, do I continue doing this?
And he went viral, and it hurts. I was like, and as a DJ, you're like, that's not what you want to go viral for, right?
Oh my God, dude!
It does happen. So make sure you prepare accordingly. Make sure that everything's in its proper crates. It's labeled as well as like first dance or like father-daughter dance, and that you're ready for it. You have the itinerary beside you, and you anticipate it's coming up. So it could come up anytime.
It's people need to understand your regular skills will not play out the same way when you're stressed out.
Yeah.
Just like when I went to the shooting range with a friend a while back. He's a detective, and he's like a top cop. Like he did lots of courses. He's with if you're in the US, he's with a SWAT, but we don't have SWAT. We have Emergency Task Force, ETF, ERU, Emergency Response Unit.
Yes.
So he works with them, I was impressed. I'm like, look at my grouping. Like, look how well I shot. That was like one of the first times I've ever done that. He's like, now try doing that after you ran for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And after you being chased by someone or you're trying to figure out like all the rules of what you're supposed to do.
That's tough.
And now control.
And you're under pressure too, right?
Now, just an analogy. Maybe not the best one, but like that's how it's going to feel.
Same thing.
You're going to be sweating buckets when you're at the gig and you can't find a song or you need something.
All eyes are on you, waiting for you.
Your regular skills of being, I can find a song like that. Normally, if you're at home, you'll find it. Yeah.
Your jitters
you're
get
not
to you,
thinking
right?
the same. Be prepared.
Yeah.
And time your things correctly, because if you don't do it ahead of time and if you don't kind of practice that, you can go viral for the wrong reasons.
Exactly.
Number 8. Can you like give me like an echo when I talk? Like number 8. Lack of backup equipment.
Yeah, I was talking about this. You have to make sure that you have mixes, extra mixes, backup controller. Most of the times, I like to bring my small controller as well as backup. Extra speakers. I always bring a monitor. Backups for your backups. You never know what's going to happen to your mains, right?
Yeah, or like if you have like a really like bad cable for your
my laptop,
and you kind of like just like kind of throw it into it, so it like magnetizes. Like let's see. Okay, it's charging.
Yeah.
Or if you like, I don't know who does that, but if you come with a laptop that has to be plugged in, and if it gets unplugged, then the battery, like there's no battery.
Then there's no music.
Like some people do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who does that?
Who does that, man?
Here, I'll do it for you.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
No, but like that's the thing. Like I'm like, oh, I'll do it. I'll get another laptop next year or next month or like next season or whatever. But then I have so much stuff on it now. It takes forever to transition.
That's my problem right now. But yeah,
I can't imagine how much stuff you have to transition.
But backups, bring backups for your backups always, because you never know.
Yeah, and it's we're giving these examples because we know we preach it, but we don't always do it because it's hard. It's hard to always. It's expensive. It's time consuming to do all that stuff. But you could get in a lot of trouble if you get to the event and it's remote. Like there's nowhere to go and buy anything, and now you don't have a speaker or you don't have a laptop. Like, what do you do? I never heard of anyone. Like, I've just gotten into it in the last couple of years. What do you do when you're in that situation?
Oh man,
like, what?
You do what you can.
There's no music.
You do what you can. Play on your phone. Play on your iPad.
Yeah. What if you don't have the connector? Right? You need a special connector.
Well, that's the thing.
That's why.
I have backups for that too as well, just in case. Right?
Yeah.
So extra cords, extra everything. Right? You never know what you're gonna need at the time. Right?
Number 9. Arriving late arriving late or unprepared.
Yeah, same thing. So we always actually try to arrive at least an hour and a half to 2 hours before the actual event.
Or 4 hours, like I used to do.
If you don't know how to set up properly and you're not used to it yet, 4 hours.
4 hours, 4.5 hours. My first couple events.
I actually told you to sleep over in the parking lot. So you can get ready for it.
Dude, it took me so long. I was like OCD, like, well, the speaker should be here. I'm like, it's been 2 hours.
Just trying to figure out where the speakers
where
go.
the speaker is, where the table is, how I'm gonna put the cables. I'm like taping everything, like placing the tape, and then it's also because you're the DJ. Everyone comes to talk to you now.
Yeah,
they're not gonna leave you alone. So now I spend at least 45 minutes all over the place speaking to people who are asking me for things.
Yeah.
So gotta come on time, especially if you want to have fun. On the way.
Oh man. Yeah, I miss that.
How I think we showed up. How late? We showed up like half an hour before the gig started once, or 45 minutes.
That day, we came up just around half an hour, 45 minutes. It was the drive too.
It was the day with the gas, right?
Yeah, because we were kind of I was freaking out.
Was that the day?
I think it was that day, and it was the one when we went to Pho too. We just came.
Oh, we did it twice.
We did it twice,
and we killed it because we're two. We have a system. We set up.
Yeah, we set up pretty fast because we know exactly how to set up and stuff. But yeah, don't do that. Don't do how we're doing it.
Do as we say, not as we do.
Stuff happens sometimes, right? And it's out of your control. But
you might want to have fun.
The things that are in your control, please make sure that you do it properly.
Look, if we drive and we have an hour and a half, like we know we're getting there an hour and a half before the event starts. But if we drive by a pho place and we know we'll still have 20 to 30 minutes.
We gotta hurry up, man.
Dude, we inhale it.
We inhale it fast, right? And you see how I eat, right?
No, I can't get to that level. That's nuts. That's nuts. You'll be able to finish the bowl by the time you get to the bathroom. Go in, the door won't close, you'll come out.
Bruh, that's how you eat
crazy.
as a DJ, man.
Oh, man.
All right.
Number 10. Neglecting to coordinate with other vendors.
Yeah. And this is just like coordinate or just working with your other vendors. Like if you're just before something happens, and usually you're the one who announces it, or you know the MC is going to come up and pick up your mic to announce something, you have to let the photographers or videographers know that it's happening so they can prepare, right? Because it takes them like a minute or two just to get into place and stuff like that.
They have to set up their flash, this, that. Yeah. Or maybe they just sat down to eat and you see them, eating and then suddenly realizing it's dawning on them. Oh, he's introducing. And it's also on them. They need to know when things happen, but it's professional courtesy. It really helps. They have stuff to deal with. You have stuff to deal with. Communicate. At the end of the day, proper communication between the vendors is going to help you achieve an unbeatable event, like an amazing event, and everyone's going to be happy.
Yeah.
And you will actually get more gigs through those vendors.
Yes. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, for real.
And yeah.
And I think that I got at least 2 gigs back to back. Yeah, I think it was back to back from vendors I was working with. One was a 360
The 360 booth.
and another one was a photographer slash videographer. So they're like, wow, it was amazing working with you. And somebody asked for a DJ. They recommended me.
Yeah.
Right?
Works that
So
way.
it was just fun. It was just fun knowing that like I just communicated with them properly, and that's like it got me that. And everyone was happy. Got a 5-star review. So
Work with everyone. Like don't turn down like the videographer. I know some videographer. I know some DJs that actually charge extra for the videographer to plug into their system so they can get the audio for the video.
You're kidding.
Oh yeah, I read it online. I'm like, what? That's preposterous.
I think that's gonna cause some serious like arguments.
Yeah. Why would you do that?
Like even between the
client.
my photographer or videographer just told me that you want
Who are you gonna bill? Like the client or the actual videographer?
videographer who's gonna have to take the hit.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
I don't get some people.
Oh.
Number 11.
Number 11.
Playing extended mixes of slow songs. Does that. Unless it was a request and it's like the end of the night and it's like just them two. Right? But like you don't do that throughout the...
And just playing a lot of slow songs in general, it kills the momentum of the actual party unless it actually the night actually calls for a slow song. Like you've been dancing them for like half an hour to an hour, and then it's time to wind down and slow down because they can't dance forever, like at 100. Right? So you're going to have to slow it down sometime. So play maybe 1 song or even 2 songs. It also depends on the crowd. Sometimes the crowd is mostly elderly, so you're gonna play a lot more older songs to get them dancing too, right?
Yeah. Usually for weddings, because that's what we're speaking about today. Specifically, it's gonna be the youngest people will be the bride and groom. Usually,
No, usually.
Sometimes it's it's their second or third wedding, and then it's their friends and the children, right? But then 70% of the guests are older people.
Yeah.
So that's when we play the oldies and everything.
Yeah, of course.
That's why it's hard, because the main people, they're younger and they may not appreciate that music.
Yeah.
But then the majority of the crowd will.
It all depends. If it's like a big popular song back in the day, usually people know
Didn't
it.
you have those people who said, at least once I remember, don't play old music?
Oh, at all. Yeah. There's some
But people still came up and asked for it.
Yeah, it's tough, and you have to turn them down, especially because that's what the client wants, right? So, yeah, it is what it is.
That was a great list. I'm getting like a flashback of everything you were telling me for the past couple of years.
Yeah,
It's been a couple of years already, more than a couple of years.
has been, man.
I gotta check my texts and see how long it's been.
One more thing. For the love of God, please put your phone on silent.
Oh,
right?
yes, that's a bonus. Put your phone on silent. I can't tell you how many times I called him and he was at a gig.
Oh my God. Yeah. What analogy were you making? Like the last time? Like at the ceremony? Hold on, sir.
Excuse me. I'm getting a call.
Can you just hold on for a second?
It was funny to me thinking, what if you actually coordinated like a prank like that?
A prank, like, yeah.
I've seen similar pranks, right?
Yeah.
But it has to be done right.
It has to be done right with the right couple, with the right crowd too, as well, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll get backlash.
Yeah, and you know what? Some things happen throughout events where it seems like it's a prank, but something just happened, and you pulled it off.
Yeah.
So yeah, it requires skill. But yeah, like this is a very good list. It's coming from me because I wanted to do that from the start with weddings, right? And I wasn't sure how to get into that. And then you gave me all these pointers throughout those years, and I used them. I didn't do weddings by myself, but I used them at other gigs, and it really works. It really helps.
It'll prepare you for when you actually do weddings.
Yes, and I actually am getting. I think I said it in one of the other episodes. I'm working with a couple of DJs now who like my style, and they have a bit more time. You have too many gigs lately, and they want to take me on, and they want to work with me with weddings and get me ready. And they have too many weddings themselves, and they want more time with the family. And they were saying that they'll prepare me for it, and then I'll start doing weddings. So take any opportunity you can take if it works for you, if it sounds right. That's it for today, I think, right?
That's it for today.
Only 11 points. 12, actually.
There's actually more, but I just cut the best
joking.
ones. Right?
That's a good list, man.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well, thank you very much for joining another episode of The Clever DJ. And we will
see you in the next one, guys.
See you in the next one.
Woohoo!
Yeah.